Good morning. Last Sunday, 56 athletes arrived back home in New Zealand after attending the Special Olympic World Games. They returned home with 26 gold medals, 25 silvers and 17 bronze. But most importantly of all, they returned with 96 personal best performances. Of the 1,100 journalists covering the Olympics, Inside Out was the only Australasian media present. We proudly present to you this documentary.
When I left home, Mum and Dad said to me, go over there and try your best, boy. Bring us home a medal if you can. If you bring home a medal, it's awesome. But Mum said, if you don't, doesn't matter. We love you anyway. And I love you, Mum and Dad. I'm coming home soon, and look what I've got, a medal.
On the 27th of June 1999, the 10th World Games, showcase of the Special Olympics movement, opened with a bang in front of over 55,000 people at North Carolina State University's Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. The theme, it's all about attitude. Hosted by comedian Billy Crystal and featuring top American entertainers, the Games welcomed 7,000 athletes with an intellectual disability from 150 countries to the largest multi-sport event in the world for 1999 with a Showtime spectacular. Founder of the Special Olympic movement, Eunice Kennedy Shriver.
To the athletes gathered here, I say to you, look how far you've come. 30 years ago, the world said, you are unable to run 100 meters. Today, you run the marathon. 30 years ago, the world said, you must remain hidden away in institutions. Today, you are on international television around the world. 30 years ago, the world said you could not make a worthwhile contribution to the community of humanity.
Caroline Tongetto from New Zealand.
Today, you bring together even warring nations on the playing fields of sports. It is no secret, no mystery, why you have come so far, so fast on this landmark journey of justice. It is your courage, it is your skill, it is your determination that lets you soar to new heights every year in almost every country in the world.
And now, flanked by representatives of the law enforcement agencies of the world, the flame will be lit by Special Olympics North Carolina athlete and global messenger, Monte Daniel.
So welcome to these games, and welcome to the better world you have helped to create.
For those New Zealand athletes, the ceremony was a never-to-be-forgotten experience.
Having Caroline having the opportunity to carry the torch, yeah, it's just having a New Zealander, you know, it's great.
It was really awesome and lots of people and lots of interesting things. I really enjoyed it.
Out of this world, it was just fantastic.
I'm very proud to be part of my team, and it was really good to get picked.
Now, in the name of all those who work for peace, in the spirit of all those who strive for excellence, and for the sake of those who will inherit the dream, I now declare the 1999
12 months, the New Zealand team of 56 athletes and 26 coaches and support staff had been preparing for the event. This year, athletes would take part in 8 of the 19 sports featured in the Games, in a wide variety of team and individual events.
And finish it, finish the lift, lock it, and down.
Better prepared than any Special Olympic athletes before them, the team left New Zealand with high hopes for medals, supported by the Olympic ideal, let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. North Carolina has a population of 8 million, occupying an area approximately the same size as the North Island of New Zealand. The Games venues were divided over 3 sites: the state capital, Raleigh, and nearby Durham and Chapel Hill, university towns making up the North Carolina Triangle. Named after the famous explorer Sir Walter Raleigh, who established colonies here in the 1580s, the city of Raleigh is picturesque and friendly. With accommodation for 10,000 visiting athletes and support staff needed for the duration of the Games, the organisers were fortunate to have the use of local university campuses, with their superb facilities and sports venues during the long summer break.
Here in this triangle area, it's really probably the most quickly developing area of our country. People are moving from all over the United States, researchers and medical teams, and they do a high level of research into things that not even myself would know about, but we have the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill, we have Duke University here, we have North Carolina Central here, and North Carolina State University here, and they also do train teachers for people with intellectual disabilities. And I come from East Carolina University, which is over in the eastern part of the state. It was the first teacher training institution in the state of North Carolina, and we still are the largest teacher training institution of training of teachers for the intellectually handicapped. I can't tell you the numbers, but we probably train over 100 each year, probably.
The New Zealand team was divided into 2 groups and located for convenience as close as possible to their sporting venues.
Daily routine starts very early in the morning. Most of them are sort of up at 5:30, down to the breakfast hall, and they're back out of the breakfast at 6:30. Some of them go directly to their sports, as happened this morning at basketball, without any real time to go back and get sorted out. And they're out really most of the day competing and resting and competing and resting, and certainly in the case of the athletics, which is running quite late, they're not getting home till after midnight in some cases, so it's a full-on program for them.
It's 7:30 a.m. Today, the New Zealand basketball team is due to play Hungary first up at the Dean E. Smith Centre, within walking distance of their accommodation at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Most other teams are off to venues close to the campus. Soccer plays furthest away at the WRAL Soccer Centre, a half-hour bus ride away, out in the countryside. Amongst the supporters with the team are the parents of Brent Crowther, up early to see him compete in the final of the 200-metre individual medley at the aquatics venue next to the basketball centre. For a New Zealander, the size of the Dean E. Smith Centre is impressive. It seats 21,000 people, and it is difficult to believe that this is a university facility. But basketball is a religion here, and those who have made the top professional ranks leave a singlet behind to be remembered by. The New Zealand team are not overwhelmed by the venue. Against the powerful Hungarian combination, the Kiwis initially proved very competitive. Team captain Kerry Reid of Wellington.
A good team, they're all guys, all around New Zealand, joined together, we all joined together. And some of the guys are good players, like Kevin and Paul and that, and they're good players here.
The strength of the basketball competition has made it hard for the New Zealanders. In winning 2 games, this team had a better result than any previous one at the World Games. New Zealand lost to Hungary 66-27. The Hungarian side won the division. Next door in the Aquatics Centre, the New Zealand team prepares to support Brent Crowther in the 200-metre individual medley final. Slow off the blocks in the butterfly, Brent slips to a fourth in the backstroke leg, but comes back with a surge in the freestyle, almost catching the Australian who takes second place.
As my coach was, just go out there and just do it. And that's all I did. I just went out there and just did it. I was hoping to get gold, but I mean, I was pleased to get my medal anyway at the end of the race.
Margaret Baker, head coach of the swimming team, has witnessed more than just improved competitive performances by her athletes.
I think they've learnt to be a team, because as they came to the October camp, they were individuals from each different area. They've learnt to get on with 7 other athletes right close to them, let alone the other 55, and to communicate outside to other countries, even the ones that don't speak English. So they've widened their world tremendously.
At the medal awards for the 200 metres medley, Brent receives his 3rd bronze medal.
Winner of the bronze medal from New Zealand.
New Zealand has had an excellent record in swimming at these games, with 5 gold, 4 silver and 8 bronze medals won, and 33 personal best performances. Brent's proud parents watch the simple but memorable ceremony. Both have seen Brent's confidence develop through competing at the Special Olympics.
Brent personally he's grown as a person. Going over to another country, he's just blossomed. Meeting all these other people and having competition. He just hasn't had so much competition that it strengthened his strokes in the swimming.
Well, I think he's got the confidence now to go ahead and virtually do anything. The world's his oyster.
The arrival of 7,000 Special Olympics athletes put considerable pressure on all the facilities of the region. Here, Leroy T. Walker, President, and Joe Fredoso, Chief Executive Officer of the Carolina Special Olympics, add their welcome.
Oh, it's super. I mean, the structure of it and how we accommodating the athletes, which is the key of all of this and why we do it. Getting them in one central place where they can mix and then go and register, get their buses and go back. And the volunteers are doing a great job. We're just very happy with it. Is this first class? First class. First class. Now, I think all World Special Olympics follow this. Take this as a model of how it ought to be done.
Invited stars of stage and screen add their presence to the occasion.
They continue to seek the best in themselves, and with no other real motivation except their sense of pride and joy, and you'll see that in the eyes of every one of these athletes. And I guarantee you, when you spend your time committing to Special Olympics, you get back as much as you give from these athletes.
I'm thrilled to be part of the Special Olympics opening ceremonies. You know, I wasn't looking to host anything else, but this is just one of the great things I could ever imagine being a part of. I'm really happy to be here.
They sent a true example to the politicians and to the religious leaders in the world, saying, you know, if we can do it, you can do it too.
Despite its $35 million US budget, the Special Olympics relies on voluntary support to pull it through. 35,000 volunteers are needed in a myriad of jobs, from policing venues and supporting athletes to helping with entertainment and assisting the media. Amongst the over 1,100 representatives of the media covering the games from all over the world, a team with a difference, from Rhode Island Cable Television.
We ready to rumble?
Both crew and presenters are people with an intellectual disability and produce a weekly cable television series. Most of the team started through involvement in Special Olympics. They're here to record material for their show, including an interview with Eunice Kennedy Shriver.
It was great. We asked her what the symbol of Special Olympics means. She said it means all different sports. Special Olympics, the 6 continents.
Here at the powerlifting, son-in-law of Eunice and superstar Arnold Schwarzenegger encourages the athletes.
Boom, all right? Go for it. You know how to do it.
Arnold's involvement with the Special Olympics dates back to the 70s, when he helped research the effects of powerlifting on people with an intellectual disability, before he met and married Maria Shriver.
Wow, fantastic. You keep it up, okay?
Powerlifting first took place at the 1987 Games, where 27 athletes competed. In 1999, 208 athletes took part in the relative cool of the Stewart Theatre at North Carolina State University. Across the road at the Paul Durr track, athletes sweated it out in temperatures over 37 degrees centigrade. The field gets away in the men's 1,500 metres. Events are divided into divisions according to age and ability, and one race may have several divisions competing together at the same time. New Zealand has two competitors in this event, Andrew Snowden of Waikato and Simon Bird of Tauranga. Simon has previously won a gold medal in the men's shot put. For Andrew, his 5th place is disappointing.
I'm going to try go for first or second or third, but I couldn't, but it doesn't really matter.
Simon won a silver in his division.
It was very hot. Very tiring too. I enjoyed it.
Half an hour away, the men's soccer team were pulling off their best performance of the tournament against Holland. Here, Captain Lance Green sets up a beautiful pass and regains it to test the defence of the Dutch goalie. Star of the match, Gordon Walker, bangs in the first of his 2 goals. The second was a cracker. New Zealand won 3-1, but sadly the result was reversed 3-4 in the playoff, the Netherlands winning the bronze medal. The temperatures at the soccer, which reached over 40 degrees centigrade, worked against the Kiwis, who were coming out of the Southern Hemisphere winter. Despite these conditions, their enthusiasm remained high.
Hey, New Zealand! Yes, we won! I did it, we won! Woo!
Throughout the whole 10 days of the Games, temperatures never went below 35 degrees centigrade with 90% humidity. Conditions were particularly trying at the bocce, where shade was at a premium and a bottle of cool drink an essential.
The biggest issue for us was the hydration, acclimatisation, and 9-10 months, I guess, preparation. Everyone around New Zealand who is travelling start drinking water and start getting used to that. And even with the high temperatures and the high humidity, the guys have been doing really well, and you see the Kiwis out there with their drinking bottles, and they've really been on track with that, and I think that's prevented problems, yeah.
New Zealand was in luck with 4 gold medals. The team coach Mike Ryan had to do most of his coaching from a prone position.
Only after pizzas, and got bitten by a copperhead snake, poisonous snake, so that was, something fairly significant and different, yeah. But he's coping well, and still able to enjoy the bocce players, fortunately, and be part of the team, but yeah, it's been a setback for him.
Mike, who also coached the team at the 1995 Games in New Haven, considers his players have learned a great deal in North Carolina.
Just the total variety of the ways people throw the ball. In New Zealand, I've been trying to coach them to throw it one way and you must throw that way. They come over here and find people throw it lots of different ways. But I think, just the experience of being here, seeing other people, seeing the way they play, and playing in a full tournament, because this is the first tournament that some people have played in.
An innovation this time was New Zealand competing in the unified events, with mixed teams of players with and without an intellectual disability.
It's very hard not to actually coach while you're out there, because, you just got to let them make their own decisions, and you just go with it.
Oh, it's been wonderful. It's been a great experience, and it's the first time for New Zealand, so it's good to be making history for New Zealand. Really enjoyed it.
John Donnelly of Canterbury and Robbie Gambitsky of Wanganui fought out a long battle with the representatives of St Vincent and Grenadines in the pairs final. Losing 5-12 in the preliminary round, New Zealand was drawn against them again in the final. John Donnelly's steady play and the oppressive heat seemed to upset their opponents, leading to a splendid 12-1 whitewash and a gold medal for the New Zealanders.
And the gold medal winners for Division 46, representing New Zealand, John Donnelly and Robert Gambitsky.
Afterwards, warm congratulations and a commemorative photo with Mike Ryan, resplendent on crutches. For John and Robbie, the tournament is over, and it's time to get away from the bocce courts and see something of the triangle. All the athletes at some time found their way here to Meredith College in Raleigh, where the local public and visitors could enjoy musical entertainment or wander around the many exhibits and entertainment tents, swapping pins, t-shirts and souvenirs, enjoying the lighter side of the Olympics. But for those still competing, like Catherine McMahon in her final equestrian event, such frivolities would have to wait. Supported by team members Lloyd Kramer and Karen Martin, who had successfully finished their competitions, Catherine was competing at the superb James B. Hunt Horse Complex in her final event, dressage.
He's a young protocol horse. He's about 3 years old, and his name is Master Brown. And sometimes he plays, but we got there to work on, and yesterday he did very well for me. He won me gold, and the day before yesterday he won me a silver.
Dressage is a difficult and demanding discipline, testing for both rider and her horse, especially if you're working together competitively for only the third time. Amongst the spectators, Catherine's mother Nairi watches nervously. In the heat, the horse is playing up, but Catherine steadies it and keeps it in line, a real test of horsemanship. Nairi is very happy with what the experience of competing at Raleigh has done for her daughter.
I think it's been the most wonderful experience of Catherine's life. It's given her opportunities that she would never have had if she hadn't been involved in riding. The socialisation and the new skills, the travel experience, and it's just been wonderful. I listened to Eunice Shriver speaking, and she's a truly inspirational woman, and I think and wish that all parents of handicapped children could hear her and work towards pushing to have more facilities available for their children.
The last day of finals at the Pleasant Valley bowling lanes. Alan Thomason of Rotorua, who's already got a gold in the doubles competition, competing in the M20 singles. The result, silver.
In second place, with a score of 594, Alan Thomason, representing New Zealand.
Peter Moday, gold in the mixed doubles, silver in the men's doubles, tonight a silver medal in the M26 finals.
And in second place, with a score of 633, Peter Mouden.
Lorraine Hippie, silver in the women's M25 competition. And Jill Hawley of North Harbour.
Congratulations, athletes. Ladies and gentlemen,
The happiest moment of gold medal.
The 10-pin bowling team won 7 gold, 8 silver and 2 bronze medals with 20 personal bests, making the New Zealand team total 26 gold, 25 silver, 17 bronze medals and 96 personal bests, a superb result. The closing ceremony took place on American Independence Day, the 4th of July. It began with teams making their way informally into the stadium at Duke University. The names of competing nations were paraded, and as night fell, the Olympic flag was lowered and the flame extinguished. 10 days of excitement and achievement were over. For the 56 athletes from New Zealand, their coaches and supporters, and the thousands who competed from 150 countries around the world, this was an occasion they will never forget. The 1999 Special Olympics World Games, where everything was all about attitude.
If they ask us how to remember these World Games, and if the world wants to come up with a label, I say use the words of Gabrielle Clark from Australia. She said, "I don't suffer from Down syndrome, I don't suffer from anything. And I'm not slow because my folks have told me I'm fast. But if you want to label me, if you must have a label, label me able. Label me able. Label me able."
On the wings of love, with your faith and hope, you'll soar high above. So from the darkest night, reach for the brightest light, and let your dreams take flight. Let your dreams take flight.
Out returns in 2 weeks' time.
Let your dreams take flight.
This program was made with the help of your broadcasting fee so that you can see more of New Zealand on air.